Hey everyone, checking in on the cryptocurrency space. A bit of late night here. It's almost 9 p.m. Eastern, and that's late for me. You got to get good sleep if you want to play this game. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, XRP, BNB, TRX, Dash, NEO, and we added EOS. Certainly enough bullish action recently that it should get some attention. So we haven't started consolidating on the daily time frame yet, but we have started consolidating on the hourly and the 4-hour time frame. Right now, Bitcoin bulls are hoping they form an inside bar on this daily candlestick, which just started forming a couple hours ago. Because if we lose the 4-hour uptrend, that means the daily consolidation is underway, and we're going to look for the daily higher low to form. We're still within our weekly tightening pattern. We're anticipating no big deal on this consolidation and that a higher low will form. Before I get into it, just reminded me, how about those blockchain names? Talked about them in the last video and then put the list in the comments of that video. But some of these names, Riot was up 60% today, ended up trading Riot and left a lot of money on the table because I was not expecting this. We had gap up opens in these names and huge follow through. So Riot got a 30% follow through from the gap up open. MARA had a huge day on the gap up open. And again, the list goes on and on. GLXY was another one in the Canadian side of things. That one had a huge day today. BLOK is the ETF for blockchain, and obviously a huge breakout day today, one of the more bullish days we've seen recently. So don't lose sight of these names in the stock market, and we knew to be looking for them because of the bullish movement in the cryptocurrency space over the long weekend, but I did not anticipate this kind of high volume follow through. And again, let's look at the dollar volume on Riot, but this high volume follow through after the gap up open. Riot's volume today was 20 million, so we're talking $70 million traded, highest volume day since the all-time highs, which is when crypto was at all-time highs. That's notable. And these names are only for trading and not for investing. The sector is too young for these companies to be trustworthy, in my opinion. So only for trading, the blockchain names, but worth watching. There's more than one way to make money in this market with cryptocurrency. And today was a huge opportunity for the blockchain stocks. So now back to regular analysis. So we've started the 4-hour consolidation. The exponential support is still holding. We had a 4-hour inside bar break bearish on Bitcoin that told us this consolidation was coming. The hourly time frame losing the exponential support is when that bear break occurred, and there's the bear volume associated with the loss of the hourly uptrend and the 4-hour inside bar breaking bearish. And right now we're seeing a pretty decent bounce taking place. I was out until I just got home recently, so I would have been looking for an entry, but didn't get one. And it's a reminder to myself of why I pretty much gave up my life for 7 months in 2017 to trade this market. But it's always plays out there to be watching, and you can miss it. And it's important to not, FOMO in or react to missing the trade. The trade has to come to you, and if you're not ready for it and it goes without you, can't jump in late and just scramble without a game plan. So we're looking for a 4-hour higher low to form. If we keep through 38.52 support, the 4-hour uptrend remains intact. If we lose that level, daily consolidation will likely be underway, and we're likely going to lose this 4-hour 12-period exponential moving average. So far holding on just fine. The 5-minute RSI getting to 30. What do we say? The first 5-minute RSI being oversold after a significant bull move, you usually get a solid bounce. On the way up before we topped out, we hit 30 on the 5-minute time frame RSI and broke below it. We saw a huge follow through for the bulls up to another $100+ on that bounce. Here again, 5-minute flush, 5-minute RSI got down into the teens, and we bounced from 38.66 and saw a solid $50 bounce. So now I'm watching the 15-minute time frame for clarity on Bitcoin. I'd like to see one more leg down, but we're watching this range. We have the low of the dump, the high of the bounce, higher low with a double bottom pretty much formed. And if we can't break 39.18 on this bull move right now, we're going to look for a lower high and a 15-minute descending triangle to be watching. And if that breaks bullish, then we zoom out for the hourly time frame, and that would keep these bulls very strong heading into tomorrow if Bitcoin can break this 15-minute potential equilibrium or descending triangle, depending on how it forms. But if we could break that bullish overnight, again, that's ideal consolidation. And even last night, when I woke up this morning and saw how little consolidation had taken place, it was very impressive that the bulls held up as they did all day today. And this is really the first sign of any real consolidation that we've seen. So 15-minute tightening pattern on watch, and that may dictate the momentum into the wee early hours of the morning here on the East Coast. Ethereum, healthy daily consolidation, trying for a bull flag. Clearly, daily consolidation is underway here, and it's just a little bit of a difference in the setup in terms of when we started pulling back and what support levels broke, because we can see Bitcoin does not have that pullback yet, and Ethereum does. So still very healthy, no red flags. Anything above 118.73 is a daily high or low, so we know we're extremely likely to form that daily high or low. In order to lose the daily uptrend and give us this weekly equilibrium that's a potential to be watching for, we're going to have to pull back, form a higher low, bounce, be unable to see continuation and form a lower high, and then roll over and lose that daily uptrend. So losing the daily uptrend will tell us the weekly equilibrium is going to remain intact, likely into at least March. But we're not losing that daily uptrend anytime soon. It's going to take at least the rest of this week in order for that scenario to play out, in my opinion. So the bounce taking place right now on Ethereum, we're defending the 12-period exponential support. But again, you can see that we are not even at that level on Bitcoin yet. So it is a little bit of a different setup in that regard. We had a very tight range here with an inside bar that broke bearish and didn't get much follow through. And the next one got followed through after that hourly time frame. So we had our high, low, lower high, lower low, and then a double top, and then just further consolidation. The flush that occurred here had 15-minute RSI pretty darn oversold. This was a climax, a volume climax, and a flush down into extreme 5 and 15-minute RSI levels. And you can see even at the top of this candlestick, the RSI was 22, which means when we were down at the bottom of that candlestick, that 5-minute RSI was down in the mid to low teens. But it was a very quick bounce. And again, if you're not sitting there with orders ready, then you're missing that bounce. And certainly can remember in 2017 where we would have those flushes, in 2018 I should say, those crazy flushes where we would just scale in on those oversold bounces. And this is just a mini version of that. 15-minute time frame has a different look than Bitcoin. Anything under 143.50 is just a lower high. Have to change the 15-minute trend to shift this momentum, and we're just going to be looking for an hourly lower high to form on this bounce attempt for Ethereum, because anything under 146.35 is just an hourly lower high. So a little bit more consolidation has already taken place on Ethereum, and let's just do it out in terms of percentages here. From the top of the bull move, which was certainly stronger than Bitcoin, I want to know what's the percentage from the top of the bull move to the low of consolidation. And we're looking at about a 7.5% pullback. And for Bitcoin at this point, way less than 3%. So big difference in that regard. The more you run, the more you pull back. We know that in terms of not building as much support on the way up. Litecoin also starting daily consolidation, also a potential bull flag. Anything above 39.60 maintains the higher lows and very healthy consolidation. No red flags. 4 hour is defending the 12-period exponential moving average. We had the hourly time frame shift momentum. And again, not any clear signal that said this is the top, aside from, multiple tops being hit. And key resistance, anything under 47.98 is just a lower high. And what I meant by nothing clear in terms of, no volume climax, no clear break of support and bear volume spike. There's not a lot of bear volume on this consolidation. So we'll watch to see if the bulls can change the 15-minute trend on this bounce. Same thing, flush down into oversold, significant bounce, but anything under 47.60 is just a 15-minute lower high. So for all these names, they have to change the 15-minute trend. And once they do, we'll zoom out to the hourly time frame and say, where's our last hourly lower high? And all the while monitoring the 4-hour higher lows that are attempting to form here. XRP, huge upper wick of profit taking from its big time bull move that we did see. The clear break of this tightening range, the clear break of the weekly inside bars. Bull signal was 318, and we ran all the way up to 355. So over a 10% bull move on that signal. And looking at the consolidation here, we had a pullback. We had our high, our low, lower high, tried a higher low here. Very weak bounce. Ended up being a little bear flag. There's your bear break, and there's your volume associated with that bear break. Anything under 343 is just an hourly lower high. And looking at the 15-minute time frame, flushed down to oversold conditions multiple times. Anything under 33.6 is a 15-minute lower high. Same thing as everybody else, have to change the 15-minute trend to have a zoom out to the hourly and then watch the hourly lower high of resistance. Binance, huge follow through. Highlighted the cup and handle pattern, potential pattern on the last video where we had our resistance of 950. Couldn't break it. There was our handle. This is where the video formed and said that's a potential cup and handle. We got the bull break. Not a ton of follow through, but a very clear bull break. Look at the previous resistance act as support. 4 candles in a row. So rejection, rejection, support, 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 support. Huge breakout, huge bull volume. And we ran very significantly 974, 11, 13. So a 15% plus move on the continuation. Hourly inside bars are currently forming, or 4-hour inside bars. Watching for the potential of an hourly equilibrium. 11.13 resistance, 10.33 is support. And now we're looking to see if we can get continuation or if this is just going to be an hourly lower high and equilibrium forming into tomorrow. I would guess that an hourly equilibrium is the more likely scenario to happen here. But Binance continues to thrive. Look at that weekly time frame. Look at these resistances. We're looking back and looking to break resistances from September and October. If Bitcoin were doing that, which it certainly is not, September and October, we'd be looking up over the mid 6,000 range right now. So huge difference in these standpoints of where we are. And at this point, Binance has bounced over 150% from its lows. So as far as I'm concerned, I do not see Binance dropping to lower lows. I think the bottom's in for Binance, at least for the foreseeable future, 2019, 2020, who knows. But for us to, drop another 60% from where we currently stand to drop to lower lows, I just don't foresee that happening. So I think Litecoin has bottomed out. I think Binance has bottomed out, and we'll certainly be a lot more confident in that when Ethereum and Bitcoin change their weekly trends to join the fun. TRX, here's where we need to watch for the daily trend change, because we know this is healthy weekly consolidation for TRX after a very bullish couple of months with a 200% move. The daily chart has consolidated, and we have our low of 231. We have our high of the bounce, which is 259. And now we need a higher low and then a higher high. So if we change that daily trend, we say, all right, our weekly higher low has been established. Let's head back to the recent high. So not sure we're going to be able to break correlation enough to do that on its own, but watch for the daily trend change on TRX to shift momentum and to keep that weekly chart healthy. Dash USD, anything on the daily above 78.40 is a higher low, keeping those bulls in control. Daily consolidation is underway, 4-hour time frame, testing exponential support, but we lost the 4-hour uptrend. So that's a distinct difference between Dash and these other names we just looked at. 4-hour uptrend has not been lost on most of the names that we just looked at, but for Dash it has. Pullback right now, the hourly time frame, keeping an eye on hourly oversold for all of these names. I'd love to get some hourly oversold opportunity. That's because I'm all cash, of course. But that would be I would be confident buying an hourly oversold bounce after the strength we've seen the last few days. So looking at the same kind of bounce here on Dash, 15-minute time frame, we know a lower high is coming. This is the weakest bounce we've looked at so far. 88.91, anything under that's a 15-minute lower high. And that's a potential bear flag, so we do have to be cautious of that at this point. NEO. Daily consolidation has not started. Once it has, anything over 784, actually anything over 771 is a daily higher low. Inside bar trying to form on the daily. 4-hour higher low still intact. This was our last one down at 861. Holding exponential support still. Bulls trying to cling on here. Hourly time frame clear trend was lost and shifted momentum. And the 15-minute bounce right now, you could call that a little lower high right in there, but the level for me is 903. Anything under 903 is a 15-minute lower high. If we change the 15-minute trend, we zoom out to the hourly, and we'll be looking at hourly resistance just under 920. But have to change the 15-minute trend first for everybody on these bounces. If we get a tightening 15-minute pattern, it's possible it breaks bearish for another leg down to head toward those hourly oversold levels. And last, EOS. So huge bull move. The volume absolutely stands out here on that break at 306 with huge follow through. Daily inside bar trying to form for the bulls. Have not started daily consolidation yet. 4 hour also maintaining the uptrend, 353 key support, just barely held. So we got our high of 388 or 389, low of the pullback, lower high, double bottom, 377 or 378 if rounding is the key resistance level, and 353 is key support. 15-minute bounce attempt. Anything under 368 is just a lower high. And if we can change the 15-minute trend here on EOS while maintaining the 4-hour uptrend, that's going to put the bulls in a pretty comfortable sideways consolidation pattern as opposed to a down sloping consolidation pattern. So that sums it all up. I'm going to get this video uploaded before it's out of date, as things are moving a bit more rapidly these days. So here's 15-minute Bitcoin potentially forming a 15-minute lower high. All about the 15-minute time frame in the short term. It has the most clarity, in my opinion, and we'll play the zoom out game once the 15-minute trend does change. I appreciate you watching. Hope you do good things. We'll wrap it up here with my last Puerto Rico video, I think. And it's a hike we did on the beach. Had a nice street dog friend who was our guide. You can tell he does this hike every day. And he would go ahead 20 feet, show us the way, and turn around and wait for us. And on the way back, he ran up a path straight into a cactus and freaked out for a little bit, jumped in the water, but ended up having to pull 20 or 30 big, long spikes out of his chest and arms. But he was a trooper and forgot all about it 20 minutes later. And that was fun. Have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow, probably.